Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Diddy Kong here once again.
And I'm Pinkie Pie here. Hey, everybody, and everyone else for that matter, and welcome back for some more of the Maxi Toys videos.
And yes, welcome back to more Let's Play of Mario Party Star Rush for the Nintendo 3DS or / Nintendo 2DS. Is that last time you actually did showcase off Challenge Tower, which is perhaps is definitely one of my least favorite modes in the entire game, because it's all downright luck-based as far as this is being concerned. And today, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the final video of this Let's Play, because obviously the final and obviously the last video of the entire playthrough is the fact that we're going to be showcase off is the extra stuff and how this game offers. So, yeah, the main focus is going to be the character museum, while some others we're going to have to consider discussing those. So, as far as you can see on the top right corner of the screen, it actually says the X button that says party level. If you press that, however, though, you can actually see that we actually fully leveled up the party level. And what that does is that if you fully leveled up everything, as you can see, there's actually a little image showing that Toad was actually celebrating when there's a whole abundance of power stars all scattered all across the Mushroom Kingdom. So, it's pretty worth knowing for, but anyway, but at least it's rather curious. So, yeah, that's far as worth mentioning. And also, as you can probably tell, if you also fully leveled up everything about the party level system, obviously you can see there's actually a golden Mario statue in the background on top of this little character museum mode, with the dice block included. So even then, I think this is the only time you'll be seeing the usual new Mario fonts look on this particular game. While most of them, there are some fonts that are most likely heavily borrowed from some little font text in some of these track courses in Mario Kart Wii from this little advertising, or even some of these little departments and such. So anyways, enough about this little jibby jabber. Let's go ahead and get started onto the character museum. And then after we actually showcase off the character museum real quickly, and we should able to end this Let's Play off and join today. So yeah, what the character museum actually looks like, it actually tells you about the character selection onto this little particular gallery room. So as you can see on this little between those two control schemes, you can actually use the circle pads to actually just to move around the character to see how the model actually looks like. And also if you press the X button so that you can actually see the character animation. So for instance, that Mario actually only going to be achieving for first place, second, or third positions. However though, for fourth place though, it will not count. So even then though, that because of this because it might be a little bit unfortunate when it actually put in a fourth place position version. So, for the most part, it's just basically just first, second, and third position. So, yeah, there's Luigi, a little bit too frowny at one point or another, but even then, he should able to be having a lovely party time. So, you're probably wondering that we actually got ourselves a little bit of a hidden image right next to Mario from just about a few seconds ago. It's the fact that you can actually use the amiibo functionality when you actually use some of these stamps. So yeah, if you measure take for instance, if you actually use the Daisy amiibo for example, that if you actually select the amiibo option, if you can actually just select it, then if you try to scan it, then it should able to actually make your stamp will appear next to the characters you're actually going to be seeing. So, pretty worth knowing for, but hey, at least it's probably kind of cool, I suppose. Seriously, this game is a hell of a lot more usage of the amiibo functionality than the likes of Mario Party 10, or even some other games for instance. So yeah, there's actually a WarioWare reference on this particular title. If you can see on the bottom screen that says like Wario for instance, it actually says here the president of WarioWare Inc. So even then means WarioWare Incorporated. So pretty much a worth mentioning about this nice little referencing from this really cool wicked WarioWare games. But even then though, we will eventually try to get WarioWare touched at one point or another. Because of this though, we would like to actually consider getting every single WarioWare games. I really don't know if WarioWare Touched, WarioWare Twisted will count. Because obviously that game is heavily usage on motion controls instead of like, you know, there are some button emplacements and all that stuff. So yeah, that's all that's really worth knowing for. So yeah, you could be probably seeing the, you know, the main characters in action, most notably the main playable characters and all that kinds of stuff. So even then, look at old Yoshi's fully happy and joyful. Although some other times though, that he seems to be coming third place, which he not entirely fond of it, but even then, that's worth knowing for. So yeah, as you can see, there's our toad right there with this nice little toad stamp on here. And at the same time, only exclusive to playable characters though, however, though, as you can see, it does say current plaza character, which this means you can actually switch between characters once you're actually in the hub world, or even the main menu. So even then, if you actually just manage to use the use in plaza, for instance, then this little message will pop up. So yeah, it's pretty worth knowing for anyway. The only character that I did not actually able to have the amiibo functionality with is actually Toadette herself, because obviously Toadette does not have an amiibo yet. Well, I'm not exactly sure if the next Mario Party game to actually involve Toadette's amiibo at all, but even though we will find out until eventually though, however though. So yeah, there's Rosalina right here, so even then, oh yeah, we haven't exactly showcased all of Toad's animations yet. But even though that, I really do apologize for that, folks. But yeah, basically, before we actually get into the end of this Let's Play, that we could actually just discuss about the ratings of these game modes. Toad Scramble mode is actually really good for the most part, but even though there are some little bit of a nitpickings I have with that mode. First things first though, is that sometimes the duel minigames can be downright luck-based at times. Although the only duel minigame is actually skillful, and obviously evolving through something a little bit similar to Mario Party 7's Clock Watchers. But apart from that side of things, between the dice block minigame and even the card minigame on that duel department, it's incredibly luck-based if you have to think about it. However though, the boards themselves do look nicely varied, especially for the likes of World 3 from that little sweet themed type of board. However though, my only little bit of a criticism about these boards though for Toad Scramble mode, there's also a similar problem I have with the likes of Bloom Bash as well, which I really not a big fan of the layout that the boards look like. They're just going all flat and boring. But even then though, I kind of prefer there's actually more to it than that, rather than just a little bit more like a tile system. Sure, the tile system is pretty okay for a side of things, but even then though, I still actually wish there was more to it. Like, for instance, there's going to be a lot more spaces instead of just plain spaces. And there are some other times though, you might actually try to, specifically trying to land on this boss battle space, something similar to how it does in Mario, yeah, if you actually just to be using those actions on these specific Toads, they pretty much act out exactly the same similar character between each other from the original Toads, so even though we're not going to count for those, because they pretty much exactly share the exactly same animations as the original Toad, so yeah, it's pretty worth mentioning. So anyway though, and one thing I'm actually noticed something is that, obviously I mentioned this before, is the fact that much like Sonic Shuffle for the Dreamcast, you have to be right onto this little boss battle space if you want to actually proceed to the boss battle itself, so sometimes it can be rather amusing at one point or another, but there are some other segments, mainly due to the fact that we need to actually get ourselves, so you have to deal with dice blocks instead of cards, unlike Sonic Shuffle. But even then though, it's a little bit more likely a comparison sake between these types of gimmicks like this. But even then though, unlike Mario Party 9 and Mario Party 10, you automatically get into the boss battle space thanks to that little stopping progressioning sake, so. But this, you have to be right on with this specific boss battle space in order to actually just to let it happen, so. Yeah, for the most part, in order to actually just unlock these specific characters you can see on this little imagery and on this little character gallery, is the fact that you need to actually deal with specific things. One, you can either just manage to just unlock these 4 playable characters, or even scan your amiibo if you'd like to prefer, or even just come across into those specific characters onto the specific minigames, boards, and all that kinds of etc. stuff. So even though that's really worth knowing for anyway. Oh yeah, that's actually the animation that's actually heavily borrowed from Mario Party 9. But even then though, I kinda wish he'll make a comeback though. Yeah, me too, especially consider how the fact that he's the only playable character. Although, we'd like to actually also count for Mario Party 4 and Beach Volleyball Rally mode. But even then though, aside from that, there's not much else to it. So, yeah, let's talk about the next other mode we'd like to discuss about. But even then though, Toad Scramble mode is actually a pretty good mode, but I won't say it's the best mode. But even then though, by far my favorite mode in the entire game itself is probably a mixture of Coin Avalon and Rhythm Reticle. But even then though, we'll get into the Rhythm Reticle later. But even then though, Coin Avalon is actually really fun. Even then though, I found this to be a lot more awesome than the likes of, I can't exactly for sure. But even then though, I found that Coin Avalon mode is actually a pretty fun mode to begin with. That's only because that how you can actually grab those coins until you actually just to proceed to the racing track, which, to me is a really fun particular mode as far as this is to begin with. So, but even then, that's really worth knowing for anyway, so, yeah. And what else do I need to think of? Although there's some other times in some other Coin Avalon minigames that there's some requires you need to actually do as precise controls and all that kinds of stuff on some of these Coin Avalon minigames. But apart from that though, and also our rubber banding AI will actually get a little bit too unpredictable at one point. Especially when we actually get into the latest parts in the rifle race mode. But apart from that though, I had a really fun on Coin Avalon mode. And Bloom Bash, as far as that's been concerned, well, it's a little bit too identical to Toad Scramble mode, besides the missing team gameplay aspect. But similar to how it does it in Toad Scramble mode, I have a problem with the board layout. They're just a little bit too bland and boring. It's like it doesn't have a little bit of a more variety on them. But even then, though, as far as nature concerned, that's all I was really going for here. Rhythm Radical is actually a pretty fun mode too, because it reminds me like I was playing a Guitar Hero based minigame, but the only noticeable difference was though is obviously we're not using the instruments, in this case the Rock Band instruments and all that kinds of etc. stuff, but the only way you can actually use it, instead it was actually evolving for instruments on the specific stuff, so, oh yeah, Booey's the only one who can actually also use the amiibo from, but despite the fact that, he's not a playable character in this game sadly, well, unless if you actually count him from Mario Shuffle mode though, however though, so, yeah, because one thing I absolutely loved about the Rhythm Radical mode, if you like to say Diddy Kong, oh yeah, exactly, Pinky, it's the fact that you can actually listen to those very familiar Mario music from those past Mario's years, which I found was a pretty cool aspect about that mode. Mario Shuffle, as far as that mode is concerned, is pretty okay, but even then though, I found it to be a little bit more better than Amiibo Party from Mario Party 10, but the only downside I can think about that mode, however though, for me though, is the fact that the computer AI is doing really good, and plus there's some really luck-based, sometimes luck-based, while other times it's going to be a lot more strategy-based, so yeah, that's the only things I can think of about this at one point or another. So yeah, there are some other times though when you actually see those particular enemies right there, and it's the fact that you can actually see there's actually an option that you can actually use just to play minigames with it. So there's a nice little shortcut to actually get into those specific minigames and all that stuff. So pretty worth knowing for. But anyway, so yeah, there's this little Magamira, which I think these enemies do make a comeback ever since yeah. So yeah, you can also see this little boss enemies here and there as well, including for the likes of Bowser and Bowser Jr., which we'll get into now in a second. And I believe this is actually the final part about the character gallery though, because after that, then we actually get ourselves a little bit of a star quiz to actually deal with here, and we can actually talk about the overall of Mario Party Star Rush as far as the game itself. So, anyways, here's that really monstrosity piranha plant, or the PD piranha right there. Even then though, he does make a comeback since Mario Party 10 though, however though, as far as the major boss is concerned. So, another mode I was going to be thinking of is Boo's Block Party. It's pretty okay, much like how it does in Mario Shuffle Party, but except the fact that, obviously the noticeable downside is that I have to be really fast on these specific puzzle pieces and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying. And also another thing is worth mentioning though, is the fact that, during that, yeah, as far as the compete against with the versus computer opponent, it's the fact that the computer opponent is actually doing really good on that particular mode itself already. And finally, we actually get into is the challenge tower, which, as far as I mentioned it earlier, definitely is the worst mode in the game because obviously it's more likely luck-based, and also at the same time, it's all about guessing as well. But even then though, as far as your chances are concerned, you only have like one attempt to do it. But if you don't have your amiibos with you, good luck, because obviously if you don't have those amiibos, then game over for you. So yeah, keep cautious on that one. So yeah, that's all the modes. So even then though, that I really enjoyed most of them, however though, except only one, mind you. But even then I had a pretty good time with some of these mode selections. So anyways, let's talk about the final thing before we actually get into this final thoughts of the entire game itself. Is that this game does have a level up system, is that Obviously you do have a crap ton of unlockables to actually deal with in this entire game this time around, more so to how it does in Mario Party 10. Granted, in Mario Party 10, that you can unlock those 2 unlockable characters in a specific shop, and some other times though in a specific you know the flash forward minigame in Mario Party 10? That's obviously, oh, he actually doing this little animation since Mario Party 9. But even then, I kind of wish he makes a comeback as well, because he's the only playable character in the Mario Party universe, which is actually in Mario Party 9, for Kamek though anyway. So yeah, it's Bowser Jr. over there. But even then though, yeah. So yeah, let's get into the unlockable methods of the party level system. For level 2, you actually unlock Coin Avalon. And level 3, you can actually unlock Balloon Bash. If you reach into level 4, you're actually able to unlock Toadette. And if you're in level 5, you're able to actually unlock Rhythm Reticle. If you reach the level 6 in the party level system, you actually unlock Rosalina. And if you reach into level 7, I believe you actually unlock Mario Shuffle mode. I'm presuming that's what this is. And level 8, you actually unlock Donkey Kong. And if you reach to level 8, you actually reach into Boo's Block Party. And also, level 9 that actually leads us to the, if I recall correctly, got confused right now. Oh, God, oh, frick, I actually got lost track. Let's start again, shall we? Level 2, you actually unlock Coin Avalon. Sorry for a little bit of a confusion side of things because of serious sort of memory loss, because I haven't gone to the fresh file since quite a long time now. But anyway, level 2 is Coin Avalon. Level 3, you actually unlock Balloon Bash. Level 4, Toadette playable character. And Rhythm Reticle level 5. Rosalina for level 6. Level 7 for Mario Shuffle. Donkey Kong playable character in level 8. Level 9 is Boo's Block Party. Level 10 is going to be Challenge Tower. And level 11, which consists of both things. One, which was Diddy Kong, and the Dr. Mario music. And finally, or in this case, another thing is worth mentioning though, is that in level 12, you actually reach up to the master difficulty of those computer poems. And the final unlockable thing, once you reach up to level 13, or level star icon, you actually unlock the staff credits. Alternative way, you can actually just manage to unlock Rosalina, Donkey Kong, and Diddy Kong, is the fact that you can actually just use the amiibo so that you can actually unlock those. However, the only character exception is Toadette, because you need to specifically reach over to level 4 in order to actually unlock her. But that I guess though, but even then though, we already completely done with the entire game as far as that's been concerned. And also, and there's also another alternative way in order to actually unlock the Dr. Mario music, not to mention, and I believe I already mentioned this before, is the fact that you can actually scan in a Dr. Mario amiibo, and then you should be able to unlock that way too. So that's it for the party levels, basically, in Mario Party Star Rush in general, so even then, that's all I have to really think about this at this point. So, anyway, let's go ahead and just switch over to the first place position of Mario right there, until we click a staff credit sequence, and we can actually end this Let's Play off. And we can actually talk about the final thoughts of Mario Party Star Rush for the 3DS. So overall, this particular game is pretty interesting for the most part. But even under that, some people usually think that this is considerably the greatest Mario Party game on the handheld. I won't say it's the top one of the choice from the Mario Party handheld installments, because Mario Party DS is still in a top-notch mode at the moment. But for what I consider that this game is considered to be the second best Mario Party handheld installments, because I'm still concerned about the bottom of the list. It's definitely easily be Mario Party Advance, because oh god, fudge that game. But even then, Mario Party Island Tour was in the third position for me, while the second position was actually from Star Rush this time around. Because one thing that really makes it a little bit more improvement is that the visuals look absolutely gorgeous from the 3DS standpoints. Even though it feels a lot more aesthetically pleasing than the likes of Mario Party Island Tour for me, because that water texture on that game is actually a little bit too plasticky in Island Tour. But thankfully it's no longer noticeable in this game this time around. Well, the music is pretty catchy though for the most part. And also not to mention that the character roster is it's almost identical to Mario Party 10 counterpart, minus with Spike is no longer with us. So yeah, as far as worth mentioning though. And also another thing is that, although the only downside I can think of is that, obviously we already mentioned this before, is the fact that the challenge tower is pretty a nuisance at one point. And also the final thing about the negative side of things is that once again, much like Mario Party Island Tour, Mario Party 10, and even Mario Party 9 as a result, if we like to include that, there's not much replay value to it. I mean, come on Nintendo, please bring online mode for Mario Party's sake. Oh, well, at least until the Mario Party game announced on Nintendo Switch. But anyway though, that's all I can say about Mario Party Star Rush. But even then though, we had an enjoyable time on that game. Yeah, but even then though, we pretty much win every single board in Toad Scramble mode, in addition to Bloom Bash as well. So even then though, the higher guys you do enjoy this entire Let's Play, and even then though, that's all I should really say about this here. Yeah, the stuff created in this particular game looks incredibly boring to be honest. I mean, again, it's not as visually impressive, unlike what it does in Mario Party 9, Island Tour, and especially Mario Party 10. But even then, there's not much interactive stuff, unlike 9 and 10. But even then, something a little bit similar to Island Tour, though, however, so even then, there's not much else to discuss. So anyways, thank you so much, guys, for watching of our Let's Play of Mario Party Star Rush for Nintendo 3DS. So this is me, Pinkie Pie, and Diddy Kong here from the Maxi Toys. But until then, join us next time of the Mario Party game franchises for this Let's Plays department. Oh boy, we're going to Mario Party fans, aren't we?
Sadly, yes. We have to deal with that game.
Oh, kill me now.
Anyway, see you guys then.
Bye.
See you guys then. Ciao. See ya, every pony. I forgot to say that.